taking the honor and pride talking about our next session. As an Indian, agriculture embraces innovation. Plant nutrition management has emerged as the critical factor, whether it is in open fields or polyhouses or high-tech hydroponic systems. Ladies and gentlemen, in this focus, the next 1 hour session is going to be by our speaker and presenter. Give Mr. Sachin Kulkarni a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Head of Haifa, India. He will go ahead and break down the principles of modern nutrition strategies that work across growing systems, from selecting the right and waterable soluble fertilizers and more.
खाना हो गया सबका? मेरे नसीब में प्रेजेंटेशन खाने के बाद का ही आता है, जब लोग नींद में रहते हैं. पता नहीं, ये तीसरी बार ऐसे हो रहा है कि मुझे जो टाइम दिया गया है वो खाने के इमीडिएटली बाद में दिया गया है. सो एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है आपसे. आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क वन क्वेश्चन. आई एम नॉट गुड एट इंग्लिश एंड नॉट गुड एट हिंदी, बिकॉज मेरी मातृभाषा मराठी है. तो कौन सा बेटर गुड चाहिए आपको? मैं हिंदी में बात करूं या इंग्लिश में? इंग्लिश वाले ज़्यादा बोल रहे हैं. आई थिंक हिंदी वालों को कोई परेशानी नहीं होनी चाहिए. सो आई विल कंटिन्यू इन इंग्लिश. इंग्लिश, या बट राजू सर ने मुझे बोला था कि आप स्विच मत कीजिए, एक लाइन पे स्टिक रहो. मैं उनसे पूछ रहा था मैं हिंदी में बोलूं और शुड आई स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. इसे आप जो अच्छा है उसमें बात करो. ऐसे आई एम नॉट गुड इन बोथ. आई एम इन फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र. मराठी में अच्छा बात कर सकता हूँ. तो मैं आप लोगों के पे छोड़ता हूँ. अगर मैं हिंदी में या इंग्लिश में और जंप भी करूँ तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि ट्रांसलेशंस में जो सुन रहे हैं उनको कुछ परेशानी होगी. बट आई विल कंटिन्यू इन सॉरी English. Thank you. I am confused, but still okay. So now all my speakers which were there earlier, my presentation slides will be kind of a repetition, but it will good that it will get endorsed that these are the things which are very, very important, right? And the earlier speaker was saying that fertigation, which normally talked in Western world, we call it fertigation. It is the most important knowledge and tool any head grower should be knowing it. और मैं बार बार देखता हूँ, whenever I go many times, people neglect this like anything. They are thinking of putting a lot of efforts on fertigation or fertigation, which we normally call, but they are missing on many things. Coming back to topic of fertigation or fertigation, is 1 hour is very little time to really very frank with you. 1 घंटे में कुछ भी नहीं बात किया जा सकता है. So what I did is, I am just taking out 5 basic mistake which growers, which I normally see, they are doing when they are doing a fertigation or fertigation. So this session is for all of you. I am also one of you. I am a grandson of a farmer, not a son of a farmer, because my grandfather don't want his son to come into the farming. But I was very close to my grandfather. I used to go to the farm with him. And why I choose BSc Agriculture and Agriculture path is because of I was very close to my grandfather. I have seen his struggle. I used to go with him on the field. And I really got passionate about agriculture. But unfortunately, when I come out with the degree in agriculture, my grandfather died with some minor accident, and my uncle with my father decided that there is nobody who is looking for this land, and he sold his land, and unfortunately I became a landless laborer when I was having a degree. So I was forced into a kind of a jobs which I started doing it. I will explain where it landed me. But to be very frank, my passion of agriculture starts when I was a kid, saying that. And this session is for all the people, the farmers who are here, who are doing fertigation, either through soilless cultivation, or they are doing on-soil cultivation, or an agri-entrepreneur. And I have seen a lot of faces which I already know. They are consultant into agriculture, and many of the consultants reaching out to me and asking that, Sachin, can you make a schedule, a fertigation schedule based on their crop? And this is the biggest pain point because many agronomists, they are not good in math or either chemistry. Fortunately, I was having a mathematics in my 12th standard, and with many force from my family to go to engineering, I choose agriculture so that maths help me. So I can do a basic calculation about the chemistry and also the mathematics about the ppm, millimole per liter, milliequivalent per liter, all these jargon I don't want to throw and confuse you. But that dirty job is I am doing, and I can make a good fertigation schedule, and I'm helping you. I will also help you people to make this correct. So there are fertigation strategies. I already told you that through my presentation, I will help you to avoid 5 costliest mistakes, which normally I have seen that growers doing it, and which is hampering their yield. So these 5 mistakes, please correct it if you are doing. If you are not doing, then you are above the 90% of the farmers, because I have seen more than 90% of the farmers doing this basic mistake. If you are not doing, then you are good. You are in the top 10 farmers which are not doing. So second thing, I will teach about the correct strategies of plant nutrition, and then I will jump it. And here is a very big announcement or takeaway that I will run a quiz, a short quiz of 5 questions. Please be attentive to the presentation. Once whoever give the answer, correct answer to the quiz, in a short time, the 3 people's lucky winners will get a software, a online tool, where he can make the fertigation schedule for his crop based on his soil, based on his water, based on the yield expectation. Are you excited? Thank you. So that means you are with me. I already explained my journey. I started as a kid, developed some sort of passion about agriculture. Now it's 3 decades, almost 29 plus years, I am into agriculture. I can proudly tell that I have wandered with my job to many countries, 3 times to Netherlands, 2 times to Israel, multiple times to Thailand, few times to Malaysia, and pick up a lot of knowledge about agriculture. I should be grateful to all the previous employer who has helped me to gain this knowledge. And with all this knowledge, when I go to the Indian farms, I try to implement that. So I can proudly tell you that I am doing the localization of the global knowledge, because our earlier speakers were talking about how great the system should be working. And Raghu also has given the example that at some type of time, when there was a time of irrigation, there was no electricity and there was no diesel, right? So when you go to the foreign countries, Western countries, the electricity, the basic element, we can't take it as a granted. Whenever there is a required electricity at a critical time, it is not there. So the kind of automation you adopt, but if there is no electricity, the automation is not going to work. Still, it will come to the human intervention. So when we are adopting the technology, we have to make it localization. We have to assume the problems of localization, leave about the capex which is required. वो बाजू में रखने के बाद एक आधा आदमी पूरा झोंक देने का भी सोच रहा है, तो भी there are very basic problems which are thriving here in India, which we need to take, and I am proudly saying that I have adopted it, teach to many growers, and they are doing good. I am passionate about traveling and making friends, so connect me through my LinkedIn profile or WhatsApp or anytime, even through Facebook. I will be very happy to be connected. I will not talk much more about that. It is all for the corporate things to do. But I just want to tell you that I was consultant to many companies, a seed company specifically, to Syngenta, Monsanto, Seminis, even Indo-American hybrid seeds. And I briefly work as a consultant to Pete Moss company, that is Classman and Delman. And now currently I am working as a head of sales and marketing in Haifa Chemicals, an Israeli company. Many of you know Haifa name. कितने लोगों को हाइफा का नाम मालूम है? Oh, very nice. I have seen many people know it. Those who don't know will definitely know it one day because we are there here in India. So let us start. Enough about what we are going to talk and who I am. Let us start the journey. So the slides, I just want to make a caveat. Few slides will going to be repeated. I asked Abhinavji, should I remove some slides? He said, no, nothing doing. Whatever it is there, you should put it. The few slides regarding the yield, but still I want to explain about this slide. Eric already has presented the slide, and thank you very much for making it. So when he was talking about the yield per square meter of the greenhouses, and this is the data which is showing that 121 kilogram per meter square is what the Dutch can achieve through their all the climate control greenhouses. We don't want to just do the maths. Many people doesn't understand 121 kilogram per meter square. How much it is exactly? Let us do the math. So 1 hectare is 10,000 square meter. 121 kilo per square meter comes to 1,210 metric ton per hectare. Believe it? Do you believe? We have to, because it's already open into the database. We have to believe it, and that comes to 484 metric ton per acre. Almost 500 metric ton per acre. If we put it in a shipping container, reefer container for export, 20-feet container, one shipping container can take 2 to 2.5 metric ton of tomatoes. So if for 1 acre you are getting the yield of around 200 shipping container. Imagine that, 1 acre giving 200 shipping container. I already told that we are not eyeing for that yield. We should not be, because there are a lot of things which here, but where we stand, and why not we do something to improve our yield, which is a kind of a lower at bottom of the world average, or at par with the bottom of the world average. Why can't we do it? What is holding us back in adopting to get such a fantastic yield? And this new world record, the thing already we need to increase the yield because the fertilizer prices are skyrocketing. Are you agreeing? Fertilizer prices 4 years back compared to fertilizer prices now, there is a huge gap, almost double in few cases. Phosphatic, potassic fertilizer, in an year on year, the rate of fertilizers is going at 10 to 15%, and it will go on. So we are putting a lot of money in fertilizer, but our yield are not increasing. This is the biggest worrisome question, and why it is happening? Because we are not planning our fertigation. Our fertigation strategies are not at par or as required by the crop. It is not synced with the crop. It is not synced with the growth stages, the requirement of the crop. And if we not do it, whatever the fertilizer we give, 40% will get wasted. Irrigation. This is also very, very haphazardly managed subject. Many growers do not take much of the effort in planning their irrigation. Either they put it to some worker who do it as per his will. He doesn't care about the crop. He cares about his comfort. And whenever he feels whatever the grower has told it, he defy all their guidelines and do it as per his will. And the crop is suffering. So Modi ji says, more crop per drop. We are putting lot of drop and getting less crop. So we have to improve our this one. Second thing is happening is, with all this mismanagement of the fertigation, the chemical properties of our soil are going bad. People are saying that there is hardly any life left in our soils because of the mismanagement of chemical fertilizer application. So all these things are a problem. You may ask, Sachin, where is the solution? So the solution is there. We are going to discuss it. First, the solution is avoid the mistakes. This is the first solution. So I am not generalizing that all the growers are going to make this mistake, but there are growers, majority of the growers are making this mistake. If they reduce this, or if they go away with this mistake, I guarantee that their yield will definitely improve. First and foremost mistake, if not testing water. How many of you doing it hydroponic, soilless cultivation, or even on soil, exactly knows their irrigation water parameter on their fingertips? कितने लोगों को पता है अपने irrigation का EC, pH के अगलावा? काफी लोग बोलेंगे हाँ मेरा EC इतना है, pH इतना है, उसके अलावा और किसी को क्या क्या मालूम है? What are the parameters which you know? There are only 2, 3, 4 people who are raising the hand who knows the quality, water quality parameter. So let me tell you one story about this, about the tasting of water. So in ancient, where it is? One good architect come up with the fantastic design of a tower, and he pitched this idea of building a tower in Italy on a particular strategic location to celebrate their win and celebrate their kind of achievement. And he come up with the design to that time ruler, and he pitched the idea, yes, we will make. Everybody likes the idea. The tower was fantastic, and they like it. And then normally, when any project start, once you like the idea, second is what is the budget. When the budget calculation start, then they say, oh, this is very high. Where we can cut corners, where we can do. Then the bright architect or an engineer that time say, yes, we can save 700 lira, but not doing a water soil testing. No need of soil testing, we start building the tower. And you know, they start building the tower without testing the soil, and this happens. The tower start tilting from the third story itself. Then they do some course correction. They make some taller on the tilting time, shorter on that, but that also not help, and you see the tower. And this is the most monumentous mistake which people goes, and it has become a tourist attraction. You see that all these things is been still supported by the cable, and stupid people like me also go there and pose as if we are saving the tower down. So what is the learning from here? What is the learning? So the learning here is that as a grower, you can't make money by doing such a blunderous mistake for your project. You have to go for soil testing and water testing before the start of the project. And as often as your water quality, water source goes, you need to do the water analysis and soil analysis whenever you are starting the new crop, whenever you are starting the new venture, even when you are starting the new source of water. Either because your well dried, so you are borrowing the water, you are taking it by tanker, or you are doing it by water harvesting. So always test the water. And second big lesson is that do not trust the fly-by-night consultant who will come and tell you that, yes, you can save money and doing these things. So like Rajuji was saying, you will not tear the shortest denominator of your note. You will be wasting a lot of time by trusting. So trust, check what is the credentials of the consultant which you are hiring or which you are relying on. how many successful projects he has been done under his belt, and go to the people. You, in our house, when we hire a maid, we ask for a references. But I have seen it, don't take me otherwise, but I have seen it that many growers are appointing consultants who are not up to the mark and doesn't know the subject very well. So please go to the seasoned consultant who has a good track record, who want a good thing for you, and he also want to succeed with you. So please have these two things into your mind. Otherwise, a consultant like me, when you are, anybody, when it comes, we will come like a photo ops, showing you that, okay, we are trying to save you, but nothing can be done at this stage because tower is already tilted for so many years. Okay? So water source. You agree that water source quality has to be checked. What are the water sources we are using? We use a river. If you are fortunate, your project has a pond or some stream where the water is flowing, right? So that is a surface water. Then is the groundwater, which is, I think, majority of the farmers here are relying on. So it is a deep water bore well or something which goes. Very few area, I have seen that the bore water EC is less than 5. Always you go, I'm not saying generalizing it, I have seen the bore water which has EC less than 5, but majority of the bore water EC is more than 5, 0.5, sorry, correction, 0.5, more than 0.5, it goes to 1.8. So we have to check. When there is a high EC of your groundwater, you should be checking what are the carbonates, bicarbonates level, magnesium, calcium, chloride, and sodium level of your water, including ferrous. Because these things are going to matter a lot in your irrigation when you are trying to do it. Correct? Majority of the time, when we go to the field, we see that the drip line is full with the scales, a white scales. What is this scaling? Even though, what is this scaling? It is the carbonates and bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. Even you go to the households or a hotel in a rural area where the source of water is bore well, in all their taps, in sanitary and in their bathroom, you will see lot of scaling. This is coming with all the carbonates and bicarbonates. So EC is high, but EC is high because of what? Which we need to check. It could be because of magnesium and calcium carbonates, which is a good nutrient, but it could be because of the sodium and chloride, which could be bad for your crop. Okay? So we need to check it. That is what you need to do. And if you are not doing water analysis, then I must say that you are gambling on assumptions, and don't do that. Based on your water quality, when it is surface water, already you know, you are a seasoned grower, you know we need to put sand filter, disc filter, screen filter, hydrocyclone to get out all the dirt. But when it comes to deep water well, where the EC is high, the different set of treatment is required. Okay? So, as I already mentioned, when there is a physical parameter, you can filter it out with sand filter, disc filter, or hydrocyclone. But when it is the chemical, then you need to see what are the dissolved minerals into my water. And based on that dissolved minerals, you will have a different treatment which you need to do it. If somebody comes to me and say that my water analysis report says that 1.5 EC, help me out, I want to grow some crops, but the EC is that, I don't know. So I always suggest, if you go to some foreign consultant, he said, no, without RO system, you can't do it. Now the RO systems are doing it. I have seen a very costly project where they are putting a reverse osmosis system for irrigation water. Imagine a reverse osmosis system for soilless cultivation, they are employing it. But imagine about the reject what is coming. Imagine about the membrane changes. Even the maintaining the household RO for drinking water is a nightmare. I have seen many projects where they called me at a later stage and seen that they are using a reverse osmosis because it was been told without doing it. I will not suggest to do a reverse osmosis process and do hydroponic or soilless. Your profitability will never come. It is a general statement, but mark my experience and knowledge. You will never achieve unless and until you are growing what? Marijuana. अगर आप भांग उगा रहे हो तो ही आप रिवर्स ऑस्मोसिस लगाओ. अगर आप वेजिटेबल उगाने चाह रहे हो तो रिवर्स ऑस्मोसिस से आपको पैसा नहीं आएगा. आपको अगर कैनबिस ग्रो करना है, इफ यू वांट टू ग्रो कैनबिस, इफ इट इज लीगल and want to grow, then yes, you can do it. So what is the other option? Other option is rainwater harvesting. You do the simple calculation in your area. If on a conservative estimate, if it is 1,000 mm of rain, 1,000 mm in 1 acre will come to 1 crore liter of water. So you build a pond, build a rainwater harvesting system. If 1 crore liter is not enough for your project, mix it, take it 40% of 60% of your groundwater, 40% of rainwater. We can always help you. What is the combination which we need to do it? Okay, so that is an option. So EC and pH, electrical conductivity, which many people call TDS, and pH are both biggest parameter. Electrical conductivity, I will not go. All are a very well-informed audience here. They know it's a TDS, pH also they know. But as I told you, the essential nutrient which we need to check is how much N, P, K, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, ferrous, zinc, manganese, boron, copper, molybdenum, sodium, and chloride. All these elements are there in my water because your fertigation program will depend on that. The major ingredient or input is water. And nutrients coming from water, even if it is 40 ppm, 60 ppm, we need to take a calculation of it when we are going to make a fertigation schedule. So this is very important. Secondly, the knowledge about ferrous and carbonates and bicarbonates is very essential because it will cause scaling in your drip system. So we need to know how much is the boron, ferrous, carbonates, bicarbonates is there in that. So based on carbonates and bicarbonates, we will discuss it further. So this is general guideline. One mistake when I have seen that we ask for, okay, you want a fertigation schedule, need to be tailor-made for your crop, give me water analysis report. And to my surprise, when I see the water analysis report, it has been done by the RO system, a domestic RO provider, and the parameters, desired parameters is for the human consumption and not for an agriculture. And many times, even informed grower was saying that, sir, मेरा सोडियम और क्लोराइड तो अच्छा है, काम में आ जाएगा, ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है. अरे भाई, it is for safe limit for human, not for the plant. Especially if you are growing the chloride sensitive crop. Tomato is a chloride loving crop, but if you are going for a pepper, it is a chloride sensitive. You need to take into consideration about what is the chloride level in that. Because to take out that chloride, there is no option then to RO or mix match with the good source. There is no option, okay? So your crop selection will all depend on the source of water and quality of that water. So please make, I will not go into all this detail, it will be available with you, what is the desired limit. When you want to do a nursery, or if you want to grow, or do want to hydroponic, these are there. But the better thing which we know, you will see that I have seen many water with having 400 milligrams per liter, that is coming to not 400, correction, 40 milligrams per liter of magnesium. So when I was a consultant to seed production companies and I was teaching them how to grow seed production crop of solanaceous and cucurbits under soilless cultivation, we were not giving a single dose of magnesium fertilizer because the water itself was having a 40 ppm of magnesium. So make use of it. It is there. There was a carbonates and bicarbonates on higher side, but we can treat it. But when it comes to magnesium, when it comes to calcium, I have seen the growers which are doing a very good hydroponic with 70 ppm of calcium, 40 ppm of magnesium in their water. Only what, as a consultant, what I need to do is, I just need to take that into the account when doing the scheduling and go ahead, and we can do it. So, RO sometimes when we are doing it, we are taking out the good minerals, which can be used as a nutrient. So please don't go to that only because you have a capex, there is an investor, so let's invest and put an RO system and go ahead, because it will create more headache. I have seen that enough of the problems coming from that. So, mistake number 2, failing to adjust the pH. We know that the pH is high, the pH has to be corrected. Many of us has already seen this in our many knowledge sessions about the water, the soil and water pH has to be a slightly acidic in the band of 6 to 6.5 and not more than 7 or neutral, because majority of the nutrients are not, there is no pointer here or is there? Can I use a pointer here? Okay, so majority of the nutrients are available when the pH is slightly towards the acidic and not alkaline. So we have seen that, but I have seen hardly any growers who are making force correction in their water. So I have a good question. Study this to pH of water, and I want to use an acid to adjust the pH. Water source first is 6.5 and second is 7.5. Which source will require more acid to come to my desired level of 6? Sorry? Louder? Great question, because you are a seasoned person. But a normal grower will never judge. Now I will tell you. Everybody will say that 6.5 will require less acid to adjust it to 6, and 7.5 pH will require more acid to come to the 6. A simple mathematics. Now I give you the another figures. The water source with 6.5 pH has 120 milligram of bicarbonates, and the water with 7.5 pH has 80 milligrams per liter of bicarbonates. Now the complete maths change. When there is a carbonates and bicarbonates in your water at higher level, the pH correction will act like a buffer. All the acid which we are putting it to lower the pH will be consumed by carbonates and bicarbonates. It will be eaten up, and then only the pH will start dropping. So, if your water has carbonates and bicarbonates in high percentage, you will require more acid to neutralize it. So, even though we have seen the extreme example of low pH, two different pH, even the grower 1 and grower 2 has exactly same pH, and that is around 8. The grower 1 may require a different amount of acid to neutralize the pH than the grower 2, because carbonates and bicarbonates acts like a buffer to the acid adjustment, and that's why the simple chemical balancing equation is written there. CO3 plus 2H means acid, which bakes to H2O and CO2. Everybody was drinking Eno, right, when we have an acidity. Same thing happened, that fizz is coming, it is all CO2. When you add acid to the carbonate and bicarbonate water, the fizz will come, right? So that fizz is CO2, the CO2 goes out, the alkalinity. So mind it, pH and alkalinity are two different things. Even though if you are 6.5 pH, you may think, I don't require the pH correction, you may be doing a mistake. Check it that what is the carbonates and bicarbonates, because carbonates and bicarbonates in your water are going to precipitate majority of your good minerals like magnesium, calcium, even though it is not in their water, but added to the fertilizer like magnesium sulfate, calcium nitrate. Okay? So please correct it. Simple way, a titration method. I will not, because of the time, I will not go it. Just take a 10 liters of water in the bucket, take out the acid. Never forget to use rubber gloves. Don't use nitrile gloves while handling the acid. Take out, put drop by drop, till you reach to the pH of desired level, and calculate that for 10 liters, I required 2 ml. So for 1000 liters, how many mLs? That simple mathematics will help, but always use a well-calibrated pH meter. pH meter has a glass electrode. It goes out of calibration very fast if not maintained correctly, not put it. Even if it is maintained correctly, do verification or calibration on weekly or fortnightly basis. If you don't afford to buy the pH meter, a simple solution of a pH indicator can also be helpful. You can get it easily on Amazon or Flipkart. Use the pH indicator, which will give. And this pH correction knowledge will also helpful to all the growers, not only in fertigation, but also for spraying. Mark my word, all the nutrients, all the fungicide, all the insecticide perform better under slightly lower pH. If your spraying water is high pH, high carbonates, neutralize it, make it slightly acidic, around 6.5, and you will see that the jump in the result or efficacy of the fertilizer, nutrient you are spraying on the top. So please use this. And a note of a caution, acids are dangerous. If you are doing or your person is doing, please educate him about the acid hazard and then only train him and then only use it. Don't come and blame me. Sachin, you have told me we have used it and this has happened. No responsibility on my head. I already consumed it, right? So good thing about this Navratri is the GST on acids has came down to 5%. The government already realized that sulfuric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid is used in a fertilizers, and they have already reduced the GST from 18 to 5%. So now using acid is becoming cheaper. So please use it. Mistake number 3, mismanaging the irrigation. Irrigation mismanagement is not that doing too much or too little. Sometimes it doing on a regular basis, even though if it's not, it is a mismanagement, right? So if you have assigned somebody to irrigate, come at 9 a.m., irrigate it for 1 hour, go away. That has been the job done. Without checking the soil moisture, without checking the substrate moisture, we are just planning the irrigation and giving it as if we are doing a great favor to our crop. It is not going to happen. There is a story behind it, but because of the time, I will not be explaining. You all are seasoned people. You will understand what I'm telling with all these things. Already other speakers also was talking about VPD, vapor pressure deficit, evapotranspiration. I just want to endorse it once again that the 90% of the water which plants are taking up is going for transpiration. Only 10% of the water is only utilized for their food production or mechanization, whatever the system is there. So only 10% is used by the plant and 90% is through evapotranspiration. Why such big loss? Because when the plant is sucking the water through evapotranspirational pull or deficit, they are taking the minerals. So the mechanism is there should be constantly the pull so that they will get the nutrient. Unlike you and me, we eat our food, plant drink their nutrient, either through mass flow, diffusion, exosmosis, or something like that. But mark my word, if the evapotranspiration is not going to happen, your water requirement will be quite low. quite low, sometimes always 0. So when there is humidity, for the normal growers, I always tell that if your undergarments are not getting dry in a day, then your plant is not requiring the water, okay? So when there is a constant rain, there is a cloudy climate, high humidity, and your clothes are not getting dry, imagine that. And clothes, when the clothes will dry, when there is enough dry air, there is a flow of water, air, or there is a vapor pressure deficit, means the air on the outer side is dry, but the air on the outer side is the same humidity as the inside of the leaf. There will be no evapotranspiration pool, there will be no fertilizer uptake, nutrient uptake, there will be no water use. So always remember this, when it comes to the roots, it always prefer an environment where there is a 25% air trap into the root zone. There should be 25% of water, 25% of air, and 50% of the substrate. Even aeroponics also can do the wonder, so we can take out the substrate, but the air is required. So what is happening when we are irrigating, we are saturating the soil, all air is going out, but based on my soil type, I need to irrigate in a way that this air come back as it. So I need to irrigate not up to the saturation level. If my soil is a lighter soil, I can do it, afford to do it on the where it is get 100% saturated, and then it dry out very quickly. The drying out of the quick in the root zone is very important. Otherwise, your root will struggle. White roots become brown, brown will become black, and they will stop working. So please maintain that moisture in your soil, either through a good irrigation management or either through a good system designing. So already I told you about the scheduling irrigation. I have seen what going wrong in there is that people are putting the drip irrigation system without knowing their soil type. I have seen enough of the examples that on the lighter soil, on crops like vegetable, they are using 2 LPH drippers, which are 45 centimeter apart. That is the biggest mistake. You have to manage, because see, if effective irrigation can only be effective fertigation. You are applying fertilizer through irrigation in the root zone, right? But if your irrigation system is incorrect, then fertilizer what we are applying is not going to help. So, based on your soil type, see that if I have a lighter soil, even it can work wonder for the heavy soil, go with the low discharge dripper. I don't know, from 8 liters, 4 liters per hour dripper. People are putting it for vegetable cultivation in a row crop, row cultivation on a bed. It's not going to help. So please see that. Don't do go to the correct emitters. Go to the lower discharge emitters are better for trickle irrigation, especially the crops like vegetable. I'm not talking about the fruit crops and orchard. It will be another one. But if you are into vegetable row cultivation, go with the low discharge dripper. And if the soil is light, go with the spacing of 30 centimeter. If it is a heavy, you can afford to go and save some money by going to up to 45 centimeter. So 30 should be standard load if it is a light soil. If it is a heavy soil, you can go with, save some money doing it. Wrong design also, I have seen that. How many of you had checked the discharge of the drippers in their field? Normally you do it, regularly you do it, or one time you have done it? Who is doing regularly? Great. So there are few people are doing it, and congratulations to them. And I will definitely put a good round of applause for them. Can we clap for them? Because this is the first time I have seen so many people in the audience who was raising the hand about the drip. Once you buy the dripper, you means majority of the farmers, they put it, they never bother. What is the dripper discharge? How many, what is my first dripper is dripping? What is my last dripper is dripping? What is the middle dripper is doing? Nobody bothers. And I see very much weird. Some growers are the height or the peak of ignorance. They doesn't know the discharge rate of their dripper. They doesn't know the spacing of the emitters. And I'm not saying this to create a joke. It is a fact. You also might be encountering such growers who doesn't know the emitter rate, what is the discharge rate, what is the spacing, how many liters of water. And many growers who knows this, they doesn't know the discharge of their pump, how many walls they need to see. If the dripper discharge rate is 2 LPH and I have 1,000 dripper, then my pump has to pump that 2,000 liters of water per minute or something. That calculation has to be done. And people are not doing it. And because of not uniform discharge of the water, your fertigation, whatever the good fertigation schedule you do, you are not going to achieve it. Mistake number 5 is ignoring nutrient balance. And this is a very, very, very problematic statement. I will tell you, how many of you might have seen this? This is the Liebig principle of law of minimum. So the least amount of nutrient or the resources will determine your maximum yield. The least amount of the nutrient in your system will, or element in your system will decide your maximum capacity. If this is very hard to understand, I have one of my...
So Poe from Australia with a great little Liebig's barrel. Poe, you want to say something?
Yeah, so this is the concept of Liebig law of minimum. Each stave actually represent different microelements or essential elements for plant growth. What it actually is, so it doesn't matter how much of a nutrient that you put in, your limiting factors is always the shortest stave. So for example, in this barrel, your potassium is the limiting factor. So water represents your yield potential. So the water will never fill anything higher than your shortest stave. So the idea is that we want to always identify your limiting factors, fix it, and get your yield potential higher.
So this is my colleague, Poe from Australia. I had a difficulty in understanding the pronunciation of Australian. Sorry, no offense, but I hope you understand. The water in the barrel represent the yield, what you are going to get. And how much water, means how much yield you can achieve, will be governed by the smallest tile, what you are seeing. Here it is shown the example of potassium. If the potassium is short and all the nutrients are full up till the brim, but you can't pay. So more potassium you add, your yield will go on increasing. So the challenge is always find the limiting factor and force correct it. I have seen many times growers are saying that, oh, this fertilizer is tremendous. I got a 25% of yield increase. You should also use it. It is not working like that. You got the result because it was a limiting factor to you. It may not be limiting factor to Sachin. It may be limiting factor to Satish, but not to the Sachin, because I might have in a different soil strata. So the one product which is giving the fantastic result could be the limiting factor, and that could happen. So now I will tell you that God is giving a great favor to us. Whatever the yield we are harvesting, or dry matter, for that matter, is being produced, 96% is free. CHO, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, is coming free from air, water to the plants. We have to manage only the rest 4%. And that rest 4% is governing your 100% of the yield. So the limiting factor can become, it could become a nitrogen, it could be a phosphorus, it could be potash, or even a meager element like a molybdenum, which required is only 2 ppm, right? So I always give the example that you get a thyroid gland swelling with not having a iodine. Even the pregnant woman who suffer from iodine deficiency, the baby born to the pregnant woman is suffering from iodine deficiency. That baby is a special child, maybe a spastic child because the brain development is not happening. And how much iodine I required? The iodine a normal adult human being require is the crystal which can be lying on the tip of a ball pen, which has not ball pen, ball peen or a needle. The tip of the needle can accumulate a very tiny crystal which can't be seen also. That much iodine required to human body to function normally, and if that much of or the small little quantity is also deficient, the problems are enormous, especially for the pregnant ladies or also for the, and that's why goiter is the correct word when the thyroid gland swells. So that's why we got an iodine yukta namak, the namak, desh ka namak, Tata namak with iodine, because that will give us the. Coming back to this one, the small amount is also a devastating, which has to be given. Never neglect to any nutrient and do the balancing act. I am running out of the time, so I will be more. So there are 4 principles of fertigation. You need to have basic 4 principles. You need to have 4 R, right source, right rate, right place, at a right time. So all these 4 principles, if you follow, you are good to go with your nutrition management strategy. So we will say that when you source a good fertilizer, a good quality fertilizer, deliver it in time, in a right ratio, at a right place, will definitely improve your nutrient use efficiency. And that will go to my next slide, that the more nutrient use efficiency you can achieve, the more water use efficiency you can achieve, the better yield you will get, and the better return on investment, the better profit you can generate, the better quality produce you can grow, not only the quantity, but the quality also. So your goal should be, if I am putting 1 kilogram of XYZ fertilizer, I should get maximum benefit out of it, doing the many things right. So this was the slide you remember I showed you. The fertilizer bills are rising, but the yields are not. What is the solution? Now, I have seen you that don't do that mistake, this, that, and all these things. Now, whoever is sleeping, wake up. All are, because as I told you that I am going to give you a quiz, and who the winners will get, walk away with the grand prize of fertigation schedule, a free of cost, free, right? So I hope everybody who was sleeping throughout the presentation is waking up, because I have a massive giveaway to give. Are you ready? I didn't hear. All are not ready, I believe. So, Rajiv ji told me, ये bullshit मत करो, कुछ ये मत करो, कुछ giveaway, quiz मत करो, सबको free दे दो, सबको free. So, on Rajiv ji's request, I am giving everything we see. So the solution is, I will tell you, I will just ask you, because of the time ticking, I forget to ask. If I give you one fertigation tool where you can put your water quality, you can put your soil parameters, you can put your crop, you can put your yield expectation, you can put your geographic location, and you will get a tailor-made fertigation schedule, stage-wise. How much money you will be spending for such kind of a tool? Any guess? ऑलरेडी मैंने फ्री बोल दिया तो अभी वो फ्री हो गया है. एक आधे चीज फ्री में देने के बाद उसका ये नहीं रहता, इसलिए आई विल टेक बैक माय वर्ड्स. अभी बताओ. 1 lakh? हाँ, somebody said 1 lakh. No, I will not charge 1 lakh, even though you say. But coming back, jokes apart, I will tell you, there is a good software tool which Hi-Fi has developed and mastered and retuned for so many years, which every grower on internet can create their profile, use it for lifetime free. And what is that? Just note down the URL is normally told in this one. हम उसको बोलते हैं कि वेबसाइट एड्रेस, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं URL. वो है nutrinet.group.com. nutrinet.group.com. इस पे जाइए. ये मैं हैदराबाद से लॉग इन किया था, तो मेरा पास हैदराबाद का ये आ गया. You can log in, create your own account. It's just like creating your Google account or any account on any other website like IRCTC और ये वो सब कुछ कर रहे हैं ना आजकल अपन. You can do it, grow it, and put your crop, put your geographic location, size of the field, and all these parameters, and go on putting water analysis, soil analysis, EC, pH, and your yield expectation. Based on that, it will calculate what are the fertilizers which you need. And I will tell you that it is not only the Haifa fertilizer. You can use it any fertilizer which is not from Haifa also. You can put it and use it. Okay? So, happy? Thank you. Thank you. So, anybody who could have a difficulty in using this, in next step, we will create one with Rajivji's help and AgriPlus team's help. I am ready to spend few hours on online training of how to use Nutrinet to get the fertigation schedule. Okay? So, in my topic, my time is up, but still I will borrow some minutes from my next speaker, if I can. We can create there was two topics, but I could only cover one. The low-cost soilless cultivation, which I have taught to many of my previous consultant farmers, means the contract farmer of my company. Every grower can do an hydroponic or soilless cultivation without putting so much of huge capex, which is normally. You can go towards Jalna, go to the Diraja in Maharashtra, which is near Aurangabad. Now the new name of Aurangabad is Sambhajinagar. Go to the Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Go to that place. From there it is the Jalna district. If many people doesn't know, go to the Deulgaon. You will see a 10 guntha, 1/10 of an hectare, grower are doing successfully soilless cultivation with very primitive mean. Whoever is aspiring to do very big and want to try their hand, definitely can reach out. I will be more than happy to conduct a training program and show them how we can do it. And next step is, as I mentioned, you can reach out to me on this. This is my contact detail. This is my LinkedIn profile. You can scan this. You reach out to me or an organizer for anything which is required more than this. Hope I try to finish it off in time without jumping too many things. So, thank you. Any questions? कोई question नहीं. I am so good teacher that all the queries are solved. I am very happy. Oh, sorry, sir. हाँ sir,
Can we
बोलिए.
have the mic being passed on there, please? Right here. Yeah, my team is coming with the mic, sir. Right there.
हाँ सर, गुड आफ्टरनून. मेरा नाम विक्रम मीना है सर. मैं जयपुर से आया हूँ, राजस्थान से. और मेरा अभी तक सुबह से एक क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा था. मैं सबसे ही पूछना चाह रहा था, लेकिन आपने आधा तो मुझे जवाब दे दिया. आधा मैं सबके सामने फिर पूछना चाहता हूँ. चूँकि आई बिलोंग टू राजस्थान, ईस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ राजस्थान, वी हैव ब्लैक कॉटन सॉइल. सो दैट सॉइल इज वेरी वेरी फर्टाइल, बट द मॉइस्चर containing capacity is very high. We are planning to have 2 projects of, cucumber and capsicum, already approved by the NHB. But my concern is, अगर उसमें मॉइस्चर कंटेंट ज़्यादा रहेगा तो मेरी क्रॉप का क्या होगा?
Absolutely good
तो
question.
before preparation of bed, what should I do?
Very, very, very predominant and good question. As I told you, I grown up with my grandfather, and my grandfather was already taking pride that I belong from Yavatmal, a cotton growing area of India, a highest cotton growing area and a suicide capital, unfortunate part of that. And he was always taking pride that I have a back cotton soil, very fertile, very nice. But it has become a liability, and you really pointed out very correctly. Otherwise, a normal grower will take a pride that having a black cotton soil, so fertile, I can grow, do wonders. But now it has become a liability. Thanks to pointing it out. There are 2-3 solutions which we can do. First is that increase the organic content, because it's a physical barrier which you have to increase the organic content. Either go through the green manuring, put a green manuring crop, bury it and do it. Otherwise, take it, an organic, well decomposed organic manure, do it. Secondly, the quick fix is making a very high bed, a narrow and high bed. So make a bed, high bed, and what is ridges and furrow we call it technically, make a higher bed so that even though if the water is there, it will drain out very fast. Secondly, invest in a drip system, which is do a very vertical irrigation. Don't irrigate too much, do it, and nothing, needless to say, use the mulch. Use the mulch, make a high bed, use a vertical irrigation, low discharge dripper, and try to put as much as organic content repeatedly, not in a single day. You can get a better quality physical soil which will drain out very quickly and you will not have it.
With that, I think any more questions? Yes, sir, we'll take that question.
Okay, so just the opposite of it. We have got extremely sandy soil. So I'm a farmer, but majorly I'm an orchardist. But in order to maintain my lands so that we can plant mango on it, I'm doing agriculture. And we are growing potato, and we have got strawberries now. But my major issue is just the opposite. How do we retain moisture in our soil? We have to do continuous irrigation, and it shells out so much of money that I can't even explain.
Surprisingly, the first part is also true for you. You build the more organic content which will increase the water holding capacity as opposite to it. Don't take it, otherwise I am giving, ये क्या जिंदा तिलिस्मत है, हर मर्ज को यही दवा, ऐसा नहीं है. You will also, because a good farmer, you will understand it's not. Organic content, you increase the, it will definitely improve it. Secondly, as I mentioned, you invest in a drip system, because we need to learn from the Israelis, where the Haifa company was born. You need, see, the drip irrigation was involved. Water soluble fertilizers was invented in from the soil where it can hardly hold any moisture, right? They were converting the desert into the fertile land. So please invest into an irrigation which can do a vertical irrigation, as I was mentioning. Low discharge dripper, 0.6. I know the grower who is doing it for the citrus. He is using 0.6 LPH, which is the lowest dripper discharge rate Netafim can manufacture, and they are using it, and they are growing it fantastically. So use that, do irrigation repeatedly. My say is that now our knowledge of substrate cultivation, where there is hardly any water holding capacity, nutrient holding capacity. The Dutch are doing it in a rock wool. We do it in cocoa peat moss. They are doing it in a rock wool. Rock wool is totally virgin media, right? So there is hardly any. They do 32 irrigations. 32 irrigation in a day, an extended day with light. So we can do a repeated irrigation, a low discharge dripper, and a long-term solution for a crop like mango is try to put as much as organic matter, which will go on improving your soil parameter.
An addition and a question. Okay, we are doing a Navratan kind of a mix to ensure that our carbonic matter increases in the soil. So we have got like pulses and dhecha, sanai, everything mixed, and then we put it down in the soil. We mix that. But now the other question is that when it's a low cost, when it's a low profit agriculture practice like wheat, we cannot invest on drip. I've got about 40 hectares of land to manage. So just manually doing the drippers will need, I think, about 5 odd people on a daily basis to do this. So basically to do, low yields, low profitability crops to just cover the land, about 40 odd hectares. So for that, we get into trouble with wheat and paddy. In paddy, I have devised a way of, doing it on platforms and reducing the amount of input. But with the high value, I'm doing it fine. But when it comes to low
No, I
value
got your
cropping,
question. My say is that under that condition, if it is a low value land and low value crop you need to do, still a water hungry crop like wheat and rice, I will not be suggesting you. There may be, certainly there will be so many other portfolios or crops which you can grow and they will grow happily. Because when you try to force a kind of a water hungry crop like rice and wheat, I think you will be ending up putting more of a capex and getting low yield. So better go to the crop which are more hardy, which can go, and still your land will be utilized and you will harness the profit also. Right?
fine. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Give Mr. Sachin Kulkarni a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we have few more questions. We will take a couple of questions offline. Thank you so much, sir.